Payment plans are not something that karma negotiates. The implosion of someone's world is occurring in slow motion, and the consequences of their choices are manifesting themselves in a cruel manner. When reality delivers exactly what they earned, rather than what they expected, while they stand stunned in the wreckage that they architected, their expression tells the entire story. It is pure, unadulterated shock. Every decision bears weight, and every action requires balance. This is the lesson that the universe teaches us, and it cannot be changed. All of the safety nets that they relied on have been destroyed, and the explanations that were effective in the past are now ineffective. Suddenly, the privileged immunity that they had imagined would last forever has been taken away without any prior warning. Do you remember the day when they worried that you would fall at their feet and beg them to change their minds? They were anticipating tears and pleadings of desperation. The typical drama that ego-driven souls anticipate when they believe they have complete control over the situation. On the other hand, something within you, something that is far older and more powerful, emerged instead. You did nothing but stand there, as sturdy as the mountain, as silent as the ocean's deepest depths. As you observed them make their decision, you saw that their eyes did not resemble either hatred or despair. Despite the fact that they misinterpreted your dignity for weakness and your silence for submission, they were unaware that they were seeing the activation of your divine sovereignty. As you simply nodded and turned away, the entire universe held its breath. There was no racing after them, no haggling, and no compromising of your precious worth. They had been accustomed to your chase, had become dependent on your energy, and had become addicted to your attention, and all of a sudden, there was nothing. Instead of being cut by their hands, the cosmic cord was cut by yours. They are only now making their way back to the shore. The moment that appeared to be ordinary turned out to be special. It was the moment when the divine acknowledged your preparedness to step into your power, the time when your energy said, "My worth is non-negotiable." And now it begins, their gradual and terrible awakening to what they have done. The cosmos never hurries karma. Rather, it permits it to emerge at the ideal moment in order to have the greatest possible impact. The initial vibrations of what will eventually become an earthquake of sorrow are currently being felt by them. Were you able to see it? However, the expression that appeared on their face when they unexpectedly came into contact with you left them feeling bereft. Their eyes widened, their sentences stuttered, and their confident front crumbled just enough to betray the mayhem that was going on beneath the surface. The blood began to pour from their face as they looked at the object that they had previously held in their hands but had dumped without any consideration. The knowledge that what they selected instead of you is nothing more than a false copy, a counterfeit link, is something that they come to notice each and every morning when they wake up. It is not the matching outfits that make matching spirits. It is not the superficial compatibility that generates depth. And it is not the remarkable status that translates to genuine happiness. They are aware that it was their choice, their decision, and their ego-driven moment that cannot be undone. This is the worst part of the situation. Like cosmic graffiti, the horror is painted across their energy field, and it only becomes more obvious with the passage of time, rather than becoming less visible. Not only do they miss you, but they also miss the entire universe that they could have inhabited with you. This includes the timeline in which your combined energies created something truly spectacular, as well as the reality in which your complementary gifts doubled rather than simply adding up. They are not only mourning a relationship or connection. They are mourning an entire existence that can now only exist in their imaginations. They are mourning the home that you would have built together, the mourning rituals that would have sustained you both, the private language that only the two of you would have understood, and the legacy that you would have created together. Each and every accomplishment that you accomplish without them is an additional arrow of awareness. The moment your name is uttered in the company of successful people, their souls contract in realization of the fact that their own tale could have been the same as yours. Every time they come upon proof of your development, your expansion, or your becoming, they are confronted with the parallel life that they could have been able to lead if they had made a different decision. What makes this particularly unbearable for them is seeing how naturally it all unfolds for you. The ease with which you attract what they struggle to find, the authentic connections that form around you while they exhaust themselves manufacturing pale imitations, the opportunities that seek you out while they chase. If you've been touched by God's goodness, don't keep it to yourself. Click Super Thank You and sow a gift of $20 or more to help spread His light. Your giving becomes a ripple of grace, blessing hearts and building His kingdom. Let His overflow pour through you. Their terrible decision has not been confined to a single aspect of life. Rather, it has spread over the entirety of existence. It is no longer possible for them to ignore the pattern of loss that has been created as a result of that decision, since it has spread throughout every aspect of their existence. In their professional lives, they are witnessing the disappearance of chances that would have blossomed if they had aligned with your energy. Projects fail without your insight. Teams fail to have coherence without your natural leadership, and ideas fail to develop without your creative spark. What they thought was merely a problem in their relationship has turned out to be a challenge in their professional life as well. Instead of expanding, their social environment has shrunk. The thrilling new ties they had anticipated have turned out to be superficial and contingent. They have been excluded from the inner circle of the dynamic group that they had envisaged joining, and the brilliant networking that they had anticipated has not materialized into the exchanges that they had anticipated. While this is going on, you are surrounded by beings that acknowledge and celebrate the genuine light that you exude. The stress of maintaining false appearances depletes their life force, and the effort of pretending that they made the right choice depletes their energy reserves. If you are not there, even their health and vitality will suffer. Now, they see with a terrible clarity what they once took for granted. Your vitality, that indefinable quality that transformed settings simply by your presence in them. The way that challenges seemed less intimidating when filtered through your perspective. The way that possibilities grew in your circle with your presence. Currently, they are looking for it everywhere they go. This trait that they are unable to identify yet sorely miss. They look for it in new relationships, new locations, and new experiences, but they are again faced with the same emptiness. This is due to the fact that what they are looking for is not something that can be discovered in the outside world. Rather, it is something that is specific to the frequency of your soul. Your assistance was unlike anything they had ever encountered before or since, and it was not the kind that enabled or codependently supported them. Their external world may project success and contentment, but behind closed doors, behind carefully curated social media posts, and behind the practiced smile, pure chaos reigns. While they exhaust themselves trying to manufacture with others what flowed naturally with you, ultimately discovering that certain things cannot be artificially created, no matter how much effort is applied, Their external world may project success and contentment. Their inner world has transformed into a landscape of growing desperation as the reality of what they have lost begins to sink in and become ingrained in their bones. 3 o'clock in the morning is the time when they reveal the genuine state of their soul through the late-night texts that they send when their defenses are down. The ideas that keep them staring at the ceiling, the impulsive reaching out that they frequently experience regret by the time morning arrives, but that they are unable to seem to stop themselves from doing. Such actions do not come from a person who is content with the decisions they have made. The people who are closest to them have become weary of the constant comparisons, the thinly veiled inquiries about your life, and the obvious fishing for information about your whereabouts and well-being. Their friends have become unwilling therapists, and they are forced to listen to endless variations of the same lament. Did I make a mistake? It is the bodily reaction that people have when they unexpectedly come into contact with you that reveals the true tale of the obsession that they could not seem to shake. The sudden paleness, the stammering speech, the inability to maintain eye contact, the nervous laughter that attempts to cover the sinking feeling in their stomach, the subtle trembling of hands that are quickly shoved into pockets, the beads of sweat that form, despite the room temperature being comfortable, and the rapid blinking as reality crashes through their carefully constructed delusions are all things that their words attempt to conceal. In a visceral reaction that is beyond the conscious control of the individual, their body exposes what their pride is attempting to conceal with the unfiltered honesty that can only be provided by the physical vessel. This panic grows rather than diminishes over time because deep down, they are aware of a terrible truth. Some doors that have been closed cannot be reopened. Some choices create consequences that are permanent, and some opportunities that have been declined are never offered again. This realization is the source of their mounting horror as they continue to spiral downward. It is not out of spite or vengeance that you continue to ascend. Rather, it is because you have finally aligned yourself with your actual path, free from the burden of someone who is unable to acknowledge your worth. When this alignment occurs, the cosmos rewards it with an abundance that appears almost miraculous to those who are looking in from the outside. The calm that is currently around you is not the peace that comes from surrendering. Rather, it is the tremendous peace that comes from someone who is truly aware of who they are and what they are entitled to. The unshakable assurance that comes not from ego, but from the pure knowledge of your own divine worth is what we mean when we talk about this. Now, everything that you touch appears to be blessed. You're not here by chance. Feel the pull. Tap join to unlock truth, purpose, and a tribe that gets it. This is more than a membership. It's your calling. You understand what others may refer to as luck or coincidence as the natural result of finally recognizing your actual frequency without diluting it in order to make others comfortable. Projects blossom, relationships develop, opportunities increase, and resources appear just when they are required. You are not experiencing a momentary or conditional elevation. Rather, this elevation marks the beginning of your actual ascent. It is not just a nice phase that you are going through that people are witnessing. Rather, it is the emergence of your genuine power that was always supposed to be yours once you stopped compromising it for those who were unable to realize its value. The natural confidence that you exude becomes more dazzling, while the worry that they are experiencing becomes more difficult to conceal. Your serene certainty makes their desperate grabbing all the more visible. Their tendency to break down under far less strain is highlighted by your elegant movement through problems. Your genuine enjoyment emerges from within, and it does not require any outward validation or performative displays. While this is going on, their social media platforms are becoming an increasingly blatant attempt to convince the public, as well as themselves, that they are doing well. When they do greater effort to demonstrate that they are content, their dissatisfaction becomes more obvious. Individuals who are soul-aligned naturally pull toward your orbit, so building a support system that is built on mutual respect and true connection. Your community has become a reflection of the genuine energy that you now embody without making any concessions. Their social circle, on the other hand, continues to contract, or the number of superficial contacts they have continues to increase, leaving them feeling more lonely than they ever have before. You have a future that is filled with possibilities, while theirs is filled with limits. Your path is illuminated with clarity, while theirs is clouded with confusion. Your energy is increased with alignment, while theirs is depleted with opposition. All of the aspects of your separate pathways scream a fact that they are unable to escape. They made a mistake in their decision, and the universe is making sure that they are aware of it. They have long since lost the initial thrill that they felt about their new option, which has revealed the hollow reality that lies beneath it, which must now be confronted in all of its disheartening detail. There are certain errors that cannot be undone, some decisions that have long-lasting implications, and some doors that have been closed will remain closed forever. This is something that is brought to light every morning. As soon as they open their eyes, the burden of this recognition presses heavily on their chest, making even the most basic of chores feel like they are struggling through a thick layer of muck. They are unable to do anything except watch helplessly as opportunities that corresponded with the route they could have followed with you come and disappear outside their reach. Opportunities for growth, for connection, and for advancement that would have been naturally available in your combined energy now mock them with their inaccessibility. Their desperate efforts to persuade others that they made the correct decision have become increasingly visible and sad. This includes their forced enthusiasm, their overdone cheerfulness, and their defensive answers to questions that are not malicious. Every day, they are confronted with the consequence of undervaluing what was freely offered to them. The special quality you brought, that indefinable essence that they now recognize was rare and precious, haunts them with its absence in every interaction, every environment, and every relationship that they attempt to build. This is the most devastating aspect of all. The decision that they made resulted in not just a single consequence, but rather a cascading series of ramifications that continue to ripple outward, affecting every facet of their existence in ways that they had not imagined. Blessed by His grace, click Super Thank You and give $20 to spread His light. Your gift plants seeds that grow His kingdom. Be the blessing. They have aligned themselves with the incorrect energy, which has caused their career trajectory, which was once promising, to come to a halt or even reverse itself. Opportunities that were formerly freely accessible have dried up to a trickle. They are unable to ignore the fact that your professional life is flourishing in direct contrast to their own, despite the fact that the recognition they anticipated has been allocated to other people and the advancement they anticipated has not materialized. They have lost the spark and authenticity that formerly characterized their artistic expression. What was once a spontaneous occurrence now feels forced and empty. Projects lack the magic that seemed so natural when your energies were together, and the work that they produce feels lifeless even to them. Ideas that appeared to flow abundantly in the past now appear infrequently and without vibrancy. This misalignment appears to be reflected in even their physical environment. Living spaces feel unwelcoming despite the efforts that have been made to decorate them. Possessions break with an unusual frequency. Electronics malfunction without explanation. Vehicles develop mysterious problems. Plants wither despite careful attention. It is as if the material world itself is responding to the fundamental discord that exists in their energy field, while they descend into the consequences of their choices. There has been a metamorphosis that is of cosmic consequence brought about in you. You have been transformed into something more powerful than you had previously believed it to be as a result of the same experience that had the potential to break you. Opportunities that are a great fit for your gifts have presented themselves with such divine timing that they take your breath away. You have been able to access doors that you would not have been able to reach during the time that you were carrying the dead weight of someone who failed to see your value. Resources are flowing in the direction of your vision, and the desperate struggling that used to characterize your efforts is no longer there. Since you removed their chaotic and discordant energy from your field, your intuitive abilities have improved to incredible levels. The guidance you receive comes through with crystal clarity, and the knowledge that guides your decisions proves to be true on a consistent basis. Now that you have the ability to trust your inner voice without second-guessing yourself, the visions of your journey unfold just as you had anticipated. They have brought into your life soul-aligned connections that were originally formed by their skepticism. These are people who identify your light immediately, without the need for explanation or persuasion, who support your vision without the need to control it, who add to your energy rather than deplete it, and who match your depth rather than fearing it. The level of connection that you have always deserved is represented here. What is most important is the clarity that you have gained about your genuine calling. The purpose that has always been a part of you, but was disguised by their limits and projections, now shines with a brightness that cannot be denied. You go toward it with self-assurance and ease, no longer being hampered by someone who is unable to recognize the splendor of your own path. This reality that they have created is permanent. The bed that they have made must now be slept in, and the seeds that they have planted must now bear their bitter fruit. This is the same painful realization that they experience each and every morning when they wake up. The decision that they made in a casual manner must now be lived with in a faithful manner. Each new connection only accentuates what is missing. Each new friendship only underlines the disparity, and each new setting only amplifies the absence. Their efforts to find someone who affects them in the same way that you did have proven to be fruitless and stressful. The universe offers them constant reminders, small and large, of what they sacrifice for temporary ego gratification. Songs that mention your name play randomly in public places. Conversations unexpectedly turn to topics that remind them of you. Strangers who resemble you appear in their peripheral vision. Books fall open to passages that seem written specifically about their mistake. Dreams wake them in cold sweats with vivid scenarios of paths not taken. Random numbers on clocks and receipts mysteriously match dates significant to your connection. Social media algorithms hauntingly suggest your content despite their attempts to avoid it. Even the weather seems to mirror significant moments. You shared the same unusual rainbow, the identical pattern of clouds, the familiar quality of light. It appears that the universe itself is adamant that they do not forget, and it is using every available channel to push them to learn the lesson that they need to learn. Witnessing the joy they could have contributed to, but now only observing from a distance, witnessing the success they could have shared in, but now only hearing about it secondhand, imagining the moments they could have experienced, but now must only picture in their mind. All of this is what it is like to watch your life unfold without them being a part of it. They are not being punished by an outside power. Rather, they are experiencing the inevitable result of their own energy coming back to them. This daily meeting with regret is not a punishment. In order for the universe to function properly, it must maintain a state of perfect equilibrium. They have sent out the energy of being rejected, dismissed, and undervalued. Now they are receiving it back doubled, not as a kind of retribution, but rather an expression of cosmic balance. The implications of their decisions should be allowed to set in. They should be allowed to stew in the reality that they have created, and they should be allowed to simmer in the understanding that certain possibilities only come around once in a lifetime. Your concern is not with their discomfort. Rather, it is the ideal system of balance that the cosmos is putting into operation. You are no longer concerned with their regret. Rather, you are concentrating on your ongoing ascent. The divine orchestration that removed them from your path did so with a specific intention. Their absence produced the precise space that was required for your progress, and their departure cleared the energetic area that was necessary for your genuine strength to finally breathe and expand to its full cosmic height. When it came down to it, what appeared to be rejection was actually protection of the greatest order. The recognition of your sovereignty was never contingent on their acknowledgement of it, and the existence of your power was never contingent on their acknowledgement. Their presence in your story was only temporary. It was a catalyst for growth, rather than the endpoint. Your journey was always designed to extend well beyond their restricted view of what was possible for you. You are now directing the energy that you once spent attempting to prove your worth to someone who is incapable of recognizing it, toward efforts that matter, toward the legacy that you are establishing, toward the souls that you are destined to affect, and toward the one-of-a-kind gift that only your particular frequency can make. As you progress into higher rarefied realms of connection and creation, these lessons will function as a shield to protect you. Keep in mind that you are never responsible for protecting them from themselves, that you are never obligated to rescue them from the repercussions of their decisions, and that you are never forced to reduce your light so that they can feel comfortable in their darkness. This is something you should keep in mind while you observe their growing regret. The one obligation that you had and continue to have is to the highest manifestation of your own soul. Wait for the cosmic scales to find their equilibrium on their own, without your meddling. You should keep moving forward along your path of power with your eyes fixed, not on what lies behind you, but rather on the gorgeous horizon that is getting bigger and bigger in front of you. With each sovereign step you take, the cosmos has spoken. The message has been sent. The truth has been revealed. You have someone embarrassed at the repercussions of their actions, and that is precisely as it should be.